All right, Jasriel, it's 2:15. If y'all want to go ahead and get started, um, that works for me. I'll be in the background. Um, if y'all need me to chime in, otherwise y'all got it. And I would of course start off with introducing myself. Well, y'all should.
Okay, hi everybody. My name is Josh 3 Jackson. I'm the youth ambassador for SO Youth Jobs this year. Today we're going to start off talking about budgeting, and Alana is going to talk to you all about that. So I'll let her speak on it.
Hey y'all, my name is Alana. I'm also a youth ambassador. Did we want to start off with the icebreaker or get into the budgeting stuff and then maybe take a break and do the icebreaker?
We can start off with the icebreaker, and then I think after we talk about your section, kind of get an update on how they feel about it.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll start it off. So, can you guys open up the chat and put maybe 3 emojis describing how you feel about budgeting right now?
And if you're unfamiliar with how to get to the chat, if you click the 3 dots at the bottom of your screen that say more, and you should get a big pop-up box, and there's an option in there that says chat, and it'll open up a chat box.
I'm putting 3 emojis myself right now. Okay.
Okay.
Does a check mark mean like you're good at budgeting, or is that like you're bad at it? I do good sometimes. Okay. Okay. So you love budgeting. Sorry if you can hear I'm sorry if you can hear my door. My dogs are kind of scratching at it right now. So okay. Okay. So by the end of this meeting, I kind of want you all to be like at a cool face. You know, I'm pretty good at budgeting, feel pretty good about it. And yeah, so that's the goal for today. So I'll let Alana start.
Okay. I'm just sharing my screen right now. Okay. So, an important key to great financial success is budgeting. We did work on these slides together, so ignore that it's just my name. Add Josh's name too, you know. But budgeting can come in handy when bills or other expenses are due, but you still want to have some discretionary spending money. So that is basically money that you will use to go shopping or go out to eat or just get whatever you want, but don't necessarily need. So steps to beginner budgeting, you can just create a bank account with a checking and savings account. Determine what budgeting method or strategy you want to use, and then stay consistent with that strategy. So, I can give you about 4 different ways to budget. So the first one is called the 50-30-20 method. 50% of your income goes to your needs, 30 of it goes to your wants, and then 20 goes into your savings. This just basically makes sure that you have everything that you need, but still have a little bit left over for you to save. Hmm. The next one is called the zero-based budget. It's basically dedicating every cent to of your income to like a certain spending category. So for example, you would pre-plan to spend 30 or 300 on rent, 100 on groceries, and then like 80 on bills. The third one is called the envelope method. So you basically create different categories on the envelope and then put as much money as you want to, or as you would think that you would need. and then title that envelope for however much money you put in there. So for example, if you had an envelope titled emergency, you put about 300 to 500 in there for like a rainy day. Or if you had an envelope titled shopping, you would put about 50 or more for however much you would think you would need for shopping. And then the last one is called the no budget. So basically making sure that you don't spend more money than you make. So like once you have spent what you needed for your necessities and saved what you feel is necessary, the rest of the money is yours and you can spend it on whatever you want. Overall, budgeting is an effective tool that many use to ensure that you're using your money wisely. Basically, so you don't go spending willy-nilly and not saving anything at all. And it also creates healthy spending habits. And then the next is Ja.
Okay, try to figure out how to share my screen and
Maybe I gotta stop mine. Yeah, let me see if I can stop mine. Okay.
Alana, before we move
Okay.
over to Ja, can we check in to
To
see
see.
if
Yeah, I
like
thought about that.
which budgeting habit people have, / maybe you and Ja can share what budgeting habit you guys have or don't have?
Oh yeah, let me see if I can go back because I'm kind of just still clicking through the slides. I don't know how to go back. Personally, I use the zero-based budget. What about you, Ja?
I would say I use a zero-based budget too, and I use that because it's good to plan out how you're going to spend your money. Each check, it's good to plan out how you're going to spend your check. That way, when things come, it's not like a surprise because you planned it out, of course. So that's why I use it.
I
Can
just like to know how everything is going to be
Yeah.
dispensed. Yeah.
Yep, yep, yep.
Can we put that slide back up that has the 3 different options?
Yeah, I'll do it since I gotta
Yeah.
share.
Okay.
Okay, nice.
Thank you.
Yep, yep.
So if you guys want to put in the chat what budgeting strategy you use, or if you don't have a budgeting strategy, which one you think might be a good fit for you, we're curious to know.
Yeah.
I personally don't have a budgeting strategy. I'm just kind of out here on vibes. But I do have money. I do save money. I just don't have like a system.
Zero
Okay.
base and no budget.
The no budget.
Okay. I can see the no budget.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one. Okay, I'll go ahead and get the next session started. Okay, so next section is going to be all about budgeting in college. And if you're not going to college, I'll try to kind of phrase it in a way that you'll be using it in kind of your regular day-to-day. So I gotta move the chat. Okay. So budgeting for college starts before you get into college. Picking a school is going to be very important when it comes to budgeting for college. So first and foremost, it's very important to pick a school you want to go to, obviously. But secondly, you want to make sure you can afford it because you can go to a school you want to go to, but then maybe after a year, you're going to realize you can't afford it and you're going to be back home. And, so I'm going to try to, tell you guys, I'm going to advise you guys to skip that step and kind of just go to a school that you can afford so you don't have to go back home and feel kind of bad. So next up is community college. Community college is a great way to save some money. You could spend your first 2 years at a community college, kind of get your prerequisites out the way. It's very cheap, and also put the A+ tutor program there because some high schools offer the A+ tutor program that you guys can take advantage of. So basically, you tutor other students in high school, and then when you get out, you'll have 2 free years that you can spend at a community college and get those prerequisites out the way. So if your school offers that and you're planning to go to university or not, I would say still just do the A+ tutor program because it's a good program to fall back on. When you figure out like, hey, I might not be able to afford college right now, so let me do the 2 free years at university. I mean, at a STLCC, other community college first. So now in-state versus out-of-state. So there's two different costs when it comes to college. There's in-state prices, which basically means if you live in Missouri and go to WashU or St. Louis University, you will have in-state prices, which is much cheaper than out-of-state. Out-of-state is when you're coming over, let's say you're from Missouri and you go down to Florida or something. Those you'll be charged out-of-state prices for those colleges, and it'll be a lot more expensive than the in-state prices. So that's something you want to keep in mind when it comes to choosing a college. And also you want to look at the financial aid and make sure that your school offers a good financial aid because that'll be like a make or break. And financial aid is going to be paying the majority of your tuition. So it's very important. So make sure you guys look at the financial aid. So college expenses. In the next slide, I'll get into like the details about what I kind of pay for when it comes to these expenses and how I kind of chip at it. But right now I'm just going to list it. So if you're a STEM major, you're going to be paying lab fees. So that's going to be like your bio labs, chem labs, orgochemistry, and all that. You're going to be paying lab fees, and it's going to be like 100 a class, a lab. So that's going to be on your bills. And then you're going to be paying for books each semester. You're going to be paying for tuition, dorms, groceries, transportation, and fun. Those last four, they're kind of optional, but I'll get into next slide. So these are some ways to budget, and this is like a list of kind of what I have to look at every year. So for books, I'm paying around like 300 a semester. And most of the time, each class has a book that you have to pay for, but there are ways to get around it. Don't tell anybody that I said it, but there are ways you can pirate some books and get them for free. But I don't really have a good website right now. So, but there are ways to get around buying books for certain classes. And sometimes some classes, you won't have to buy books. So I would say wait a little bit, see if you really have to buy the book. And if you do, it's just gonna have to come out of your pocket, sadly. But that's how it is. When it comes to tuition, I'm looking at 56,000 a year. It's pretty pricey, even for an in-state school, But when you get into college, you'll kind of realize that they don't charge you like you just got out of high school. They're kind of just mostly charging your parents. So they automatically assume that your parent is going to be helping you, whether they are or not. That's how you get charged, like your parent is helping you. So you're looking at around 56,000 a year. For dorms, it's looking like 14,000 a year. That's what I had to pay. But dorms are optional. For my school, it was mandatory the first 2 years to dorm. But there are ways to get out of it. Like for a SLU, you could waive it. You could waive that first and second year and tell them like I'm living at home with somebody and it'll get rid of that 14,000. So if you have a home that you can live with or family members that you can live with, I would say definitely don't dorm. Um, you're not missing much, honestly. Roommates are not that good. Oops. So groceries, I'm looking at 80 to 100 a week. I mean, not a week, every 2 weeks, I'll say, because every paycheck I'm going to the store. I'll say for me, since I do make sacrifices, sometimes I eat, sometimes I don't. I'm looking at maybe 50 to 80, 50 to 80 every 2 weeks. Because I do eat unhealthy, sadly. Like I might buy some noodles every now and then and just call it a day. But if you're eating healthy, I'll say 80 to 100. So like you're getting your essentials like a vegetable, a meat, tissue, even though you can use the public restroom at the school. So tissue, a fruit, and a little snack. You're probably looking at maybe 80 to 100. So transportation, I put it varies because some people have cars, some people don't. For the first 2 years and coming into my third year, I've been taking a bus the whole time. But as you know, as you grow up, things get harder to reach. So you're probably gonna want a car sooner or later. So that's why I say it varies. But the bus is cheap. If you could take the bus and your school offers that free bus card, that free bus pass, then I would say take advantage of that for sure. And then I put fun in there. Fun, I'm looking at 20 to 50. I didn't put a time because it kind of varies, some days you're not going out to eat, some days you are, some weeks you aren't. So I put fun at 20 to 50, but it's inevitable. You can't just sacrifice and say you're not gonna have fun because you're gonna go to college, you're gonna make friends, find like a girlfriend or a boyfriend or something, and they're gonna be eating up all your money. So it's inevitable. So over to the right, I don't know why I keep doing that. Over to the right, I got ways you can chip at these expenses. First thing first is get a job. That's very important. Get a summer job while you're doing things in the summer, during the summer. If you're not doing anything, make sure you get a job and save for college throughout the summer. So when you get to college, you can chip at those expenses to the left. But while you're in college, make sure you get a work study job. Right now, I'm looking at $4,000 per year for my federal work study. So federal work study jobs tend to be easy, and you can like do homework while you're doing that federal work study job. So it's like a little side gig that you can do, and it's kind of just a free 4,000. So make sure you take advantage of that. I put on the side that you can ask for more. You can ask for more. Right now I'm capped at 4,000, but last year I asked for, hey, I'm going up to my limit. Can I get some more? Because usually some people get work study and they're in the work study fund, but they don't take advantage of work study. They don't work. So your school sometimes just have leftover money in the fund. So you could just ask for it and they'll probably give it to you. So also you want to make sure you stay in touch with your financial aid officer. Not stay in touch, but just make sure you know their email so you can contact them when it comes to like concerns and things like that. Underneath work study, I got non-work study. So non-work study jobs are just like jobs that aren't work study. So it's pretty straightforward. So like maybe DoorDash, at a hospital, at a store, just those type of jobs. But I would say be careful with those jobs because scheduling can be hard when you're going to school full time and you're also doing a work study on top of that. And now you're bringing in a second job. So just be careful. I'll say put your studies first, but I know you have to make money somehow. So I would say limit those non-work study jobs to maybe once during a weekday and then the rest during the weekend. So like 2 days in a weekend, 1 day in a weekday. But make time for yourself for sure. Now scholarships, I'm looking at around 52,000. That's school scholarships, state grants, and the FAFSA. When you're in state, another advantage of going to school in state is that you can apply for those state grants. So if you're going to school in Missouri, make sure you apply for those that Missouri grant. It's just a free 2,000, so that's pretty good. Your school automatically gives you the scholarships when you apply, but there are different scholarships that your school will have throughout the school year. So make sure you go apply for that and look out for those. And also, you're gonna want to fill out your FAFSA for sure. That's how you get your federal aid and also your work study too. So you're gonna have to fill that out every year, and they're gonna ask you like for your mother's tax information or your parents' tax information and things like that. But you'll have to fill that out every year for sure. And also, through the FAFSA, you'll also get loans. So there are private loans, but stay away from those. I'm talking about the federal loans. So you have two different kinds. You have subsidized and unsubsidized loans. Subsidized loans, you won't have to pay throughout the school year. And also they give you a 6-month grace period after you graduate. And you don't have to pay anything throughout the school year or that 6-month grace period. So that's why I prefer subsidized loans versus unsubsidized loans. You do have to pay while you're at school, because as soon as your school gets it, that loan company that FAFSA put you in, you will have to pay those people while you're in school. So I usually prefer subsidized loans. And I put Medicaid here because it's free and you can apply for it. And you can apply for it through the state. And it's pretty easy application, and it's just free insurance basically. And I put that there because some schools, like my school, they automatically put insurance in your bill, like your school has insurance. So they'll automatically put that in your bill, and you will have to go out your way to waive it. And you also have to show proof of insurance. So if you want to just get rid of another bill, then waive that school insurance and apply for Medicaid, because that's free and you won't have to pay for that. Now, food stamps, I put food stamps because you're going to want to apply for that while you're in college, because they do give college students a good amount of aid when it comes to EBT and food stamps. Right now, I get about 290 every time, every month. No. Yeah, every month. Every month I get 290. And so that helps with that grocery that groceries fee. And so yeah, that kind of pays for like my whole month of grocery stuff, those food stamps. So that kind of takes away that fund. So make sure you apply for food stamps. It's pretty good. And lastly, I put this here. It's kind of hard to see, but it's the lifespan of a typical American. And I just put this here to emphasize that, it's important to budget, but it's also very important to have fun too and buy things you want while you're young. And I don't know, just experience life, have fun with your friends, find a lover or something, because that little orange sliver is college. And then the rest is your career. And then after that, it's retirement. So you got that little sliver of college life and school life and being young right there. So I just put that there to show you guys to make sure to have fun while you're in college, and don't focus on budgeting too much. While it is important, and make sure you do it, but still have fun. So that's it for me. And lastly, I just want to ask you guys, how do you feel about budgeting and budgeting for college now? And you could do the 3 emojis again. I put the cool face because you guys should be there now, right? And also, I want to open this up for any questions that you guys might have. Me and Alana can answer. I'll give my 2 cents. I'm pretty transparent, and I'll tell you guys what I'm doing with my money. So if you have any questions, I'll answer it.
For either you or Alana, is there, for those of us that might be like beginning with budgeting, never done any level of budgeting before, is there some sort of like app or like tracker or anything that we can use on our phones to help us like monitor our spending that y'all would recommend?
Um, right now, the first thing comes to mind is that Rocket app that I keep getting ads for that kind of tells you like what you're subscribed to. But right now, I'm not really using the app. I would say I keep it all up here, but I'm kind of struggling now because there's different funds I'm trying to save for. So I'm kind of like, so I have one savings account, but then there's like three things I'm saving for. So I would say in order to keep track of budgeting and what you're budgeting for, you can always use the envelope method that was up there, that Alana talked about before. So labeling envelopes and then putting your money in there. But I know not a lot of people will carry cash around, so there's always the Notes app, or another person that can help you keep track. I have my mom; she always helps me keep track of my money, and mostly other people too. So she's like the main money manager when it comes to my whole family. So use other people, use physical things like envelopes, or use your Notes app, um, message yourself, anything will work.
I really just agree with what Josh said. I don't really use a specific app. I kind of just remember what I'm budgeting for and how much I want to budget for different things. Um, but I have been seeing some ads. I never remembered the name of them because I never thought I would use them. But whatever he said, I think he said Rocket. You can use those, like he said, lean on somebody else. You can always write stuff down on sticky notes and just like hang them up everywhere so you don't forget or something like that. Because my memory is bad, so I get it. Um, but yeah, you can really just do anything to remember. Yeah, the notes app is that's a good suggestion.
Also, since most of you are NSC jobs, I believe you can use your job coach as well. So
What banks do you guys use, and does your bank have like a good um savings program, and or if you know, does your bank have a good like account for college students?
right now I'm banking with Alltrue, and I started banking with Alltrue because of SAU jobs. So SAU jobs hooked me up with Alltrue, and Alltrue has a. As soon as I got my account at Alltrue, I had a savings account as well. Um, so Alltrue is it's a credit union, so it's pretty good when it comes to putting your money in there and saving it and taking it out and transferring it. So yeah, I forgot the rest of your question. What was the rest of the question?
The second part of the question was, if you know, does your bank have a good like checking account program for college students? Because not every bank is suitable for every person in every season of life.
Yeah. Demaya says they're unprofessional. I haven't had a bad experience with Alltrue so far, so that's a plus. But banks can be iffy. Um, we all know about Wells Fargo and how they treated Black people when it came to giving out loans and stuff. So it's definitely very important to research your bank and make sure that they're professional and also fair to all their customers. So, and I don't know about college checkings. Um, I would have to look into that because honestly, I never heard of that. So,
I do think that credit unions are a great like first banking option because they usually don't, especially if you're like a college student. Um, I know St. Louis Community Credit Union, whenever I had them and I was in college, they would waive like overdraft fees. And so that was a nice perk as a college student on very limited money. And then their interest rates are usually lower whenever you get to a place where you're maybe thinking about buying a car. Also in college, I had US Bank whenever I was in college. I actually still have it now. And they were really good too, for me personally. Discover has a really good banking program for college students, both their checking account and their credit card. I wouldn't recommend getting a credit card, especially as a freshman, but they do have a good program. Should you decide to get to get a credit card.
Okay. I heard from the one lady that came for the coach, the credit coach. She told me to apply for Capital One because they had a secure credit card.
Yeah.
So that's what I need to apply for.
I have Capital One now, and I really like them. I didn't know about the secure card, but a secure card is a really good way to build credit in a safe and responsible way. There are some like financial institutions that will give college students their first credit card, and you have a $2,000 limit, which just doesn't make you don't have $2,000 to pay back every single month as a college. Most of us don't. Some people probably do, but most of us don't. But a secure card is a really safe and responsible way to build credit and not like have so much risk. So I would definitely recommend that. And I just really, really enjoy Capital One. Any other questions that you all want to put in the chat about budgeting or about expenses in college or anything for Jocelyn or Alana? Okay, we're gonna take that as no questions. If you guys do have other questions about budgeting or about college expenses, your job coaches are gonna be a great resource. Also, this recording will be available for you guys. And I think that maybe Amanda might be sending that out, or your job coach will probably have access to send this out to you. Other than that, thank y'all so much for coming and participating, and thank you, Jocelyn and Alana, for preparing this presentation and sharing this information with us. And we're gonna give y'all these 12 minutes back to enjoy the rest of your day.
Yeah, thank you all for coming. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, guys.